So, in this video I'm going to talk about a few things I dislike about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. These aren't really things that break the game for me, however, they are just small things that could have been better in my opinion. To start off, I really don't like the voting system when playing online. The voting system is based on a random generator as it randomly selects one out of the 12 tracks the players have chosen in this lobby. It would have been way better if they use a voting system similar to that in Call of Duty, where they have two maps to choose from and one random map. In Call of Duty, the map with the most votes gets chosen to be the map for the next round. Players also have the option to vote for the previous track with a maximum of it being played 2 times in a row. The track with the most votes should be chosen in my opinion, instead of the one that had just one vote, just like you see here in this example. Up next is the way they patch certain things in this game. Don't get me wrong, I don't really mind if they make good improvements like new tracks or new characters. However, I really dislike it when they change stats of certain cards or characters. It's not only annoying when you're used to a certain card combination for a while, but it really breaks the game when you're playing competitive time trials. A small disclaimer, I don't play time trials a lot, but I know some people who do play it competitively, and for them it's really hard sometimes to adjust to the new card or character stats. To top that off, sometimes people set a record with a certain card combination, and after just the slightest alteration of some stats, some records just cannot be beaten ever again. To solve that issue, they should either make an exception for time trials, where players can choose the preferred build version of the game, or they just should stop altering card and character stats at all. I might sound like an old-timer here, but I really miss the days where a game is just a cartridge that cannot be updated, like on the N64 for example. Speaking of the N64, I really wish the N64 Rainbow Road version in this game would have been longer than it is now. It just feels way too short, and it would have been better if it had 2 or maybe even 3 laps. Speaking of that, it would have been nice to have an option in the offline mode where you can choose the amount of laps per race. Also, check out my card. I really like Mercedes. However, I don't like the Mercedes promotion in this game. The card looks really different compared to the normal cards in the game, and it just feels like a cheap marketing deal. It simply doesn't suit the art style of Nintendo games in my opinion. Next up are the Mario Kart Tour tracks. At first I thought, whoa, this is nice and fun, at least some diversity in how a race is being raced, as each lap is a different route. I really like that idea. However, in my opinion, all these Mario Kart Tour tracks look kind of the same with the boring grey asphalt. It feels like Nintendo could have done a way better job with the tracks they've been adding in the Booster Course waves. Don't get me wrong, the Booster Course waves offer plenty of really unique and good tracks, but the amount of Mario Kart Tour tracks they're adding is just too much in my opinion. Now onto the characters. You either hate it or love it when you see characters like Link and Villager in a game like Mario Kart. I'm not a big fan of it to be honest, since I think Link doesn't belong in the Mario universe aside from games like Super Smash Bros. Where is it going to lead in the future? Will the next Mario Kart have characters like Mart and Roy from Fire Emblem and King Dedede from Kirby? I don't think it suits in this game. Also, characters like Metal Mario, Tanuki Mario and Pink Gold Peach are just lame in my opinion. Quantity isn't always good. Now we're somewhat halfway through the video, I want to ask you to subscribe to my channel and to like this video, as it helps me with the YouTube algorithm. I know a story about a guy who didn't want to like the video he enjoyed watching, and a blue shell came through his roof at night, or so I heard. Bullshit aside, coins, coins and more coins. Look, I get the idea behind the coin system, however I really dislike it, or even better, I just hate it when I get coins from an item block. Especially when driving in first place and you feel the red shells behind you coming and all you're getting are those stupid useless coins. Now onto some things about this game Nintendo can't really do much about. Those are the frame rate drops when playing in 3 or 4 player mode, getting hit by shells in multiplayer where it does seem like the shell is nowhere near you, and the lagging item box in multiplayer. The frame rate drop is something I've always found really annoying when playing with my friends. Judging by my screen at this moment, you could ask yourself, does this guy even have friends? Jokes aside, the frame rate drop from 60 FPS to 30 FPS when playing with 3 or 4 players is really noticeable and kind of ruining the experience when you're used to playing such a smooth game in 1 or 2 player mode. Then there is the issue when getting hit by a shell in multiplayer. Most of the times, when you're driving past a green shell that's doing, its little bouncy thing, you're just accepting it will hit you sometime, even though you're trying to avoid it. It's just not a good experience when being hit by a shell that wasn't even near you at your screen. Also, when somebody is holding a shell and driving in front of you, you get hit by it sometimes, even though you're not close enough. Lastly, sometimes the item box wheel keeps spinning forever in multiplayer. I think it has something to do with a bad connection from the host. It's really annoying though, as you're waiting for your next item to come, but it simply just doesn't come, at least not in time. Sometimes it makes you miss a shortcut due to the lack of a mushroom or star you're waiting for. Well, perfection doesn't exist. Even though this list might sound really long, there are just minor things in the game I wish were different. I really enjoy this game and I'm certainly not trash talking or hating on this game. I'd rate this as one of my best games in my collection despite its flaws. What's your experience with the things I've listed in this video? Please let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you in my next video.